What just happened, Cowboys Nation? Buckle up, because this is the kind of breaking NFL news that sends shockwaves across the league and has fans from Dallas to Duval absolutely losing their minds. Moments ago, reports surfaced that the Dallas Cowboys have officially completed a blockbuster trade for none other than Travis Etienne Jr., the explosive, dynamic, game-breaking running back formerly of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the NFL world is buzzing. I mean, let's not kid ourselves, this is the kind of move that gets analysts scrambling, fantasy football players readjusting their rosters, and fans either popping champagne or reaching for the panic button, depending on their point of view. Etienne, who was drafted 25th overall by the Jaguars in the 2021 NFL Draft out of Clemson, has had a roller coaster career so far, missing his entire rookie season due to a Lisfranc injury, then bouncing back to post back-to-back 1,000-yard rushing seasons in 2022 and 2023, showcasing his elite vision, quick twitch burst, and underrated pass-catching ability out of the backfield. And now, he's a Dallas Cowboy. Let that sink in for a second. A team that has long searched for that post-Ezekiel Elliott identity in the run game has just landed one of the most versatile backs in the NFL. From Tony Pollard's exit in free agency to an uncertain committee of backs including Miles Sanders and the often injured Rico Dowdle, the Cowboys have lacked that true bell cow threat until now. Travis Etienne walks into the star not only as a proven playmaker but as a piece that could finally unlock a more balanced, dangerous offense for Dak Prescott and head coach Mike McCarthy, who now face immense pressure to deliver in a make-or-break 2025 season. And for fans who've been begging for Jerry Jones to make a big move, this is it. This is the blockbuster. According to multiple sources close to the deal, the Cowboys sent Jacksonville a 2025 third-round pick, along with a conditional fifth-rounder that could escalate to a fourth based on Etienne's performance this season. And folks, that is an absolute bargain for a player with Etienne's ceiling. Let's not forget, he's still just 26 years old, under contract through 2025 thanks to the Jaguars having picked up his fifth-year option, and he brings immediate electricity to an offense that too often relied on Doc's arm and CeeDee Lamb's brilliance to carry the load. Now, this team can genuinely threaten defenses on the ground again, something they struggled to do consistently in 2024. Etienne isn't just a runner, he's a weapon. He's the type of back who can house a 60-yarder on a zone read, shake a linebacker in open space, and haul in screen passes like a slot receiver. In Jacksonville, he accounted for over 1,400 yards from scrimmage in both 2022 and 2023, despite sharing touches with backs like Tank Bigsby and seeing inconsistent offensive line play. Imagine what he can do behind a healthier Dallas offensive line anchored by Tyler Smith and Zach Martin, assuming both remain upright this season. And with CeeDee Lamb drawing double coverage, Brandon Cooks threatening defenses deep, and Jake Ferguson emerging at tight end, defenses won't be able to stack the box the way they did against Jacksonville. But let's talk about the implications. This move screams urgency. Jerry Jones knows the clock is ticking. The NFC East remains one of the toughest divisions in football, with the Eagles and Commanders reloading and the Giants attempting to rebuild. The Cowboys needed a jolt, something to elevate their offense from pretty good to championship caliber, and this might be that move. Fans will remember the sting of back-to-back playoff collapses, including last year's wild-card debacle where the offense sputtered late and the lack of a dependable running game became glaring. Etienne changes that equation. He gives Dallas a player who can eat clock with physicality but also break the game open with a single cut and sprint. His elusiveness in space ranks among the best in the league, and his yards after contact numbers prove he's not just a finesse back. Let's also not ignore the intangible boost here. Etienne is known as a high-character player, a locker room asset, and a tireless worker. His reunion with his former Clemson teammate, defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence, recently acquired in a separate deal, brings leadership and chemistry to both sides of the ball. And if you're a Cowboys fan who believes in destiny or poetic football symmetry, the idea of Etienne making his Cowboys debut in the 2025 season opener against the very team that drafted him, the Jaguars, is almost too perfect to ignore. The narrative is rich, the stakes are high, and the excitement is off the charts. Social media has exploded in the last hour, with Cowboys fans celebrating what some are calling the biggest running back acquisition since DeMarco Murray, while Jaguars fans are split, some believing they cashed in before Etienne's production dipped further, others furious at giving up a young cornerstone talent. Over on Twitter, hashtags like Etienne to Dallas and Jerry did it are trending nationally, and the reactions range from Super Bowl confirmed to this doesn't fix our O-line. But let's be real, no single move is going to solve all of Dallas' issues. This isn't a magic wand. There are still question marks on defense after losing Leighton Vander Esch and needing more depth at cornerback. There's still the pressure on Doc to elevate his game when it matters most. But adding Etienne? That's a clear signal. The Cowboys are all in. They're not sitting back hoping for incremental improvement, they're pushing chips to the center of the table. And that's exactly what fans have been screaming for. Now the focus shifts to how this changes the offensive scheme. Offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer now has a new toy to play with and the ability to run more creative sets, including dual back formations with Sanders, motion packages, and an emphasis on screens, delays, and zone reads. Expect Etienne to be heavily featured not only in traditional runs but in motion, jet sweeps, option routes, and stacked sets alongside Lamb and Cooks to create matchup nightmares. From a fantasy football standpoint, Etienne's stock just went through the roof, especially if he ends up getting 18-22 touches per game in this offense. For Doc, this is also an audition year. While contract extension talks loom in the background, he now has all the tools, protection, receivers, backs to finally make the deep playoff run fans have waited decades to see. There are no more excuses. And speaking of pressure, Mike McCarthy is very much in the crosshairs. This acquisition doesn't just reflect a desire to win, it creates expectation. If this team stumbles early, if the offense looks flat, or if Etienne underperforms, the spotlight won't just be on him, it'll be on McCarthy, Schottenheimer, and the front office. But let's be optimistic for a second. Let's envision Etienne running wild against the Giants in Week 2. Let's picture him catching a screen, cutting inside, juking a linebacker, and outrunning a safety for a 47-yard touchdown. Let's imagine the crowd at AT&T Stadium roaring louder than they have since the prime Dez Bryant years. That's the kind of energy a move like this brings. It creates hope, and in the NFL, hope is the most powerful motivator of all. It brings life to a locker room, belief to a franchise, and faith to a fanbase that has endured too many January heartbreaks. So yes, it just happened. Travis Etienne is a Cowboy. And if this pans out the way fans dream it might, it won't just be the biggest trade of the offseason, it might go down as the moment the 2025 Dallas Cowboys became true contenders again. Now it's time to see what they do with it. Buckle up, Cowboys Nation, the ride just got a whole lot more exciting.